Hello, my name is Eugenia Simkovic. I am a copywriter at M8 Agency. It's an American agency that does digital advertising, especially. And it's located in the US, but has an office in Córdoba, which is why I get to work there. I have a bachelor's degree in institutional communications, and that's about it for me.
My name is Romina Bianchi. I am a motion graphics designer and professional photographer from Córdoba, Argentina. I started studying media communication in Universidad Blas Pascal, but before I finished, I realized that I wanted to specialize in motion graphics design and animation in general, and because my career didn't offer that path, I decided to study on my own online.
I think that what's called women's intuition is what brings something special to the work environment, because we tend to be more emotional, but not in a bad way, but more in a big picture kind of way.
Creo que la mujer, si bien como seres humanos somos iguales, tanto hombres como mujeres, creo que la mujer por ahí le aporta, no solo en el ámbito de la publicidad, sino que el aporte de la mujer es más bien en cuanto al orden, a llevar un seguimiento de las cosas.
I think women have a different perspective and definitely a different way to communicate. Especially when I was working as a newborn photographer, I realized that was a big advantage for me, because I was mainly dealing with female target and mothers, families, and I guess maternity and the possibility to bear children, and just the overall role that we tend to play in families came in really handy, because I knew how to talk to these women and I knew how to make them connect to me in a personal level.
I think that Argentinians are well known and received all around the world in advertising, because we're a melting pot of different cultures. Coming from such different backgrounds make us unique. I have friends that are working in advertising in England and Spain and Chile and Paraguay, and they are welcomed with arms wide open because of that melting pot that makes us unique.
Although I know that we have come a long way in the industry, I do think we still have a long way to go. When I went to the congresses on family photography, I realized very quickly that most of the females speaking at these conferences were talking about the photography and handling babies and talking to moms. But when it was time to talk about business and marketing and topics that had concepts that were a lot more related to communication, they were all men. So I definitely think that we still have a long way to go.
I think advertising is no different than any other industry where women have a long way to go, as far as wage gap, as far as recognition, as far as, well, anything, being in powerful positions. Of course, there are women there that hold powerful positions, there are CEOs everywhere, but we still have a long way to go. And I know things are changing right now, but I don't think we will see that change within our lifetime. And I don't think advertising is any different. I think in my personal experience, I've had good bosses, I've had bad bosses that have taken credit of my work. I've been underpaid. I think it's no different than any other industry. So we have to keep fighting for it.
Y en cuanto al reconocimiento, creo que todavía hay una diferencia. En Macam, por ejemplo, somos la mayoría mujeres, pero sí en los puestos altos son todos hombres, y creo que eso sí debería cambiar y debería haber mujeres en los puestos, digamos, gerenciales, y no solo en lo que es el día a día de una agencia, ¿no? Pero yo creo que a futuro eso puede llegar a suceder.
I've been a copywriter for the better part of 10 years on and off, doing anything from proofreading to QAing, from a brochure to an actual spot that goes on either social media or on the air. But now I moved on to creative copywriting, which entails, it's a different process, but it ends up having the same. I think my background in actual writing fed a lot into my creative copywriting. And what's interesting about digital copywriting, digital advertising, is that the tools and the platforms change constantly. So you keep learning things and you keep using what you learn for future pieces, but sometimes it changes so radically that you need to like toss everything out of the way and start thinking things in a new paradigm. So I think that's super interesting and what I like and why I like digital advertising the most.
What I do as animation is I work in a lot of kinetic typography. I like music a lot, and I like lyrics. Those are my two passions, two of my many passions in life. And I've discovered that there's a huge market, and it's something I really enjoy doing. I really like being by myself with my computer. So here's a little bit of what I have done.
But I found my place, and it's alright. We all searching for a better way. Cookies off my plate, it's alright. I got my own way to believe. Find a lighthouse in the dark, stormy weather. We all could use a sedative right now.
Mi día a día en la agencia consiste en ser el contacto entre el cliente y la agencia. A mí me llegan los pedidos del cliente y yo soy la encargada de coordinar todo el equipo para que el pedido se ejecute en tiempo y forma. Yo tengo como clientes a cargo a LATAM, que es una aerolínea, y a Sodimac, que es como la versión IKEA de Sudamérica. La verdad que, como les contaba hace un ratito, en la agencia se maneja un ambiente súper distendido, hay mucha gente joven, gente muy copada, y la verdad que siempre se nos hace muy ameno y se nos pasa rápido.